Hello. Wait, I need to lower Spotify as well. As always. Hi. Yes, Dolce de Milkies. It's inspo look time. I'm seeing myself double. First, hi Spyro. Hi, how are you? Well, welcome in. Welcome in. Uh, good job in redeeming first. Oranges, my love. How are you? How is everyone? Is Spotify being a little bitch? How are you, my lovely oranges? Have I told you today that you're the most beautiful oranges and that seeing you just makes me happy? Truly. Seeing you makes me the most happy I've ever been. You're tired? Don't be tired. Why are you tired? What have you been doing, Loca? Spire, you're doing good. What have you been up to? I'm glad to hear. Good. I'm okay, I guess. I need some makeup therapy today, y'all. I need some makeup therapy. I was going to stream Bewitching Sinners, the little dating game that I completely forgot about. I just forgot about it. It's like it doesn't exist. So I had the worst day at work. So I'm going to pretend like it didn't happen. I'm going to make myself look pretty. I need my stream over here. And I need my OBS over here. You're packing to move? Where you going? Are you moving here to live with near me? Please say yes. Please say yes. Pop out. Pop out, queen. Is it going well? Is the move going well? That's what's important, you know? Because moving is stressful, God's sake. No, you, Angel. What did you all been up to if you want to share? I have some really exciting news. So my bestie gave me this tarot deck from Genshin Impact. Sorry, Lesbian Impact. And then Maisie gave me a Waterstones voucher. And I got a new tarot deck. I've been doing some crazy pulls. So if you want me to practice on you, just hit me up. I'm your girl. How epic. It's exactly Jetta. I think you would be really fucking epic. I personally would love to meet you. But I hope moving is going well, and then maybe one day I can give you a hug. I'm a great hug giver. You can ask people. I'm a great hug giver. You just chill today? No work? No work? Are you being lazy at the moment? I'm going to start with the Vaseline because that's important, guys. You always need to, you know, lube yourselves up. You gotta be ready. What about me? I've just been working. However, I did so badly that I treated myself to some ice cream. Cause fuck it. Um, that I've been okay, guys. I've been hitting the gym really hard. She grinds. She's in her gym girly era. Jokes. I'm in my healing era, as my astrologist told me 2 days ago. I'm in my healing era. You've been sick? Like sick. I'm not making fun. I just don't know how to react to like these kind of news. I'm terrible. I'm so sorry. Are you okay? So that's a sensible thing to ask. Spyro, are you okay? It's not. It's not that guys don't ever like take me as an example, please. I'm crazy in the head. I hope you're well. What's up? Do you want to share with us? Is it something shareable? Hey hey cat. It's all whenever someone goes hey hey hey, all I think is hey hey cat, the emote. So I posted the inspo look because I do not go around stealing ideas from people. If I'm copycatting, I will say I'm copycatting because I'm lazy. I'm lazy with makeup and I look at other people's doing makeup and but there's the inspo look. I will like change some things, I guess. I don't even remember how it goes. I just saw it fully globalized my Pisces Venus. Because I'm a Pisces Venus. In case you didn't know, I'm a Pisces Venus. I am delusional. Sorry, you can't say those words nowadays. I am very delusional, but at the same time, I'm very romantic. And with that comes the color palette of greens and really like lilacs and like whatever, just light purples and all. And I saw that look on the pin comment. Now I'm like, oh my god, I want to do this. But where am I going to? Why? What am I going to do? Like, where am I gonna go? Nowhere. So I'm going to do it on stream because I love my makeup streams. You're okay now? It just might. I'm sorry, Spyro. That's not good. Have you? Okay, so back in my singer era, that I used to hate because I was forced to being an alto. That's besides the point. I'm yapping. Have you tried ginger and garlic tea? It sucks. Yes, it sounds disgusting because it is disgusting. I am telling you, my singing tutor would force me to drink that. Like, he would force me to down that shit. It's so good. It's so good. Maybe it's because of the sunscreen does not do that. Sunscreen does not do that. What are you even? I am so proud, guys. Spyro started using sunscreen after I was just like, yes, sunscreen. Literally, guys, you need to wear sunscreen every day. This is no joke. Oh, but our ancestors, they did not used to. Well, our ancestors had an ozone layer. How about that? Wear your fucking sunscreen. I'm not here for arguments. We barely don't have an ozone, or whatever you guys call it. We call it camada de ozono in Portuguese. Well, our ancestors had that. We don't, basically. So, do with that as you will. And don't come with sunscreen and the coral reefs. The studies that prove that don't even prove that are very murky. Sunscreen is good for you. It's skincare. It's healthcare. And no, it wouldn't be. Maybe have you just like maybe Spyro when you got on top of that mountain, beautiful, beautiful mountain. I've told you this before, and I will say it again. Maybe did you just like scream at the top of your lungs? I think you did that. And there's nothing wrong with that. Maybe you did that, and you just don't want to admit that you've been doing things you shouldn't have, like screaming at the top of your lungs. I totally don't do that every single day. I totally do not do that. Whilst like I'm in the middle of work, I get pissed off and I'm just like, ah. It was very windy up there. Do you wear like scarves around your neck as well? I imagine with the because it's summer now and you told me about the temperatures being really high. I imagine that's like not a possibility, but like protecting that area does help a little bit. So, what is this thing here? Do you guys see that? It's fucking annoying me. I can't get rid of it. I can't get fucking rid of it. I was trying to avoid touching it. But get some strepsils. I don't know what's like the equivalent, but get some strepsils. Leave it on for an hour because because that's like a cold-ish. It's not cold. It's a gum, but you want just let it sit and then mix some like ginger powder or like make some sort of ginger, mix it with garlic. It's disgusting. Yeah, but it worked. It worked. I miss my voice back. Like, my voice would be literally changed from the moment I would drink that. Why is this thing? You had lots of lemonade? You're a lemonade girly? Beyonce? Beyonce? I didn't know you were a Beyonce girly, right? I think I may have hit the wrong crowd for this. Why have I got the worst spot possible here? What the fuck is this? I'm glad to hear you're better, and I'm so glad you're here because I missed you, Spyro. I miss everyone. I miss streaming. I've been so off. I thought the category was beauty booty. Twerk it back? To throw it back? Is that what we're doing today? We're twerking it? We're throwing it back? No! Because I already sexualize myself on a daily basis. Not on the daily, whenever I stream. I think throwing it back will literally push it. Not that I can't do it. I'm Portuguese. I grew up throwing it back. It's actually concerning how young I learned how to twerk, guys. It's actually concerning. But that comes in our genes. Like, you're Portuguese, you'll learn how to throw it back. You're Brazilian, you'll learn how to throw it back. Although the Brazilian people have like a talent, it's literally in their blood. Like with it's not as much. You know what I mean? Wait, that's not the category. You've been catfished. You're in the wrong place here, mate. I'm not throwing it back. Throwing it back to Tommy. Hi. Oh my god, everyone's here. I'm so happy. You guys make me so fucking happy. Wait, where was I? I'll do it for you, Dwayne. How are you, my love? I missed you so fucking much. You know what we have to do when I'm no longer a little bit fucked in the head? Valorant streams? Cause the fucking new map looks fucking sick. How are you, Tamara? Tamara. How are you? Oh, my knee is fucking killing me. You'll do it for me, Dwayne? You'll throw it back? I never doubted that. I never doubted that. Sometimes I'm concerned as to, like, I don't know. I could ask you to throw it back and you would do it. And I don't know how to feel about that. I feel good. It's a lot of power asking Dwayne to, like, do something. It's a lot of power. I should have done my eyebrows before. How are we all doing? Tommy, how was your day? How was the rest of... I fell asleep. So here was the setup, right? Here was the setup. Here's how I lurk in streams at night, because I have a set bedtime for, like, really, like, between 9:30 and 10. But for my friends, if they're streaming, I push it a little bit. I'm sleeping. Here's my laptop. Like, this is my bed. This is, like, imagine I'm sleeping. This is my bed. You can't get in bed with me. Sorry to break it for y'all. Like, you gotta pay for that. Jokes you don't. See, again, sexualizing myself on the internet. I need to stop it. See, I'm sleeping. I don't snore. Lies. And then my laptop is right here. And Tam Tam is just here. Playing Final Fantasy. And then yeah, I wake up at did I wake up? Like, I wake up, I don't know. Wake up the next morning. And some random Twitch is playing, like, Raid from Raid probably. You're oversteamed right now, but what have you been up to? I saw you on, like, loads of streams today. Are you okay? And you know what? I feel Spotify feels really loud. I feel so blessed that I am one of them. Truly, I do, because you devote your time to being here, supporting me, and I adore you so fucking much. You're amazing. Oh, I love to hear that. How are you today? Is your knee any better? My knee is actually killing me as we speak. What were you up to today? Like, anything special? What were you doing? Today I was already telling Chad. I'm asking for pity here. What can I say? I had the worst day at work. Oh my god, please feel pity for me. I wanna kill myself. I mean, I don't actually. I'm joking. I don't actually want to do it. Unless can't joke about those things, Frank. You're gonna get canceled on Twitter. Can't fucking joke about those things. You can't be canceled on Twitter these days, guys. That's really serious right now. Twitter opinions and all. They're very important for our democracy. Anyways. Oh, I love you so much, Demi. What was I even saying? What was I even saying? My knee is actually killing me as we speak, but I've been grinding it. Actually, I'm really proud of myself. Did 4 out of 4 gym sessions last week. Pretty fucking slay. 2 in the morning in a row in 2 days. Like, I'm doing 2 days on, 2 days off, 2 days on, Monday off, and then back on. So basically, I'm going to the gym on the weekends, Monday off, Tuesday, Wednesday on. However, tomorrow I'm not going to do it in the morning because I want to do 1.5 hour workouts that, like, I'm going to change my plan this week. My workout plan. Oh my god. Am I becoming, guys? Ew. Am I becoming a gym bro who talks about the gym and their workout plans on stream? Ew. And who am I? My ex? My exes? Please. My gym bro. I'm gonna kill myself. I cannot become a gym bro. No, I can do a lot of stuff. I would consider doing a lot of stuff. Being a gym bro? Who am I talking? I was like, guys, not to like like, you know, brag or anything, but I used to be an athlete. I used to be an athlete. I used to be like hands on the sports. Do you know what I mean? And I used to like before moving to like the year before moving to the UK, I actually would like hit the gym quite a lot. Um, bodybuilding and all. Because I was doing volleyball, I was doing swimming lessons. I still can't swim even if my life depended on it, but it's good for the joints. And my new gym has a pool, so I'm very excited for that. The problem is a swimsuit because of my titty bitties, the milkies. They cost like 70 quid, like a sports one. I hate it. I hate it. Whenever I can have breast reduction, I'm so open about this. I don't even care. Whenever I can afford breast reduction surgery, whatever it is, oh, I'm gonna go for it. I'm gonna go for it because I'm tired. Everything's so expensive. Slay, get those gains. What the? Yeah, the gains. Although the gains, but please, I don't want to get the gains. I would like to get the gains in like muscle, cause especially my arms, cause like it's like muscle memory and all, right? So like the weakest point like ever for me were the arms. I've always had weakish arms, or at least not like very tailored to like literally. Um, and give me a second. These are not. I need to cut these. Uh, so my legs have always been very strong because I did figure skating, not like ice skating, but roller skates. But it's the same premise. In Portugal, sorry to break it to you, we don't have ice. It's too hot to have ice. So I did a figure roller skating, whatever. So my legs have always been very strong. So I get to the leg press. I started like the minimum, like the second one, right, which is 36 kilos. Not to brag, but I tried lifting that. I'm like, I don't feel anything. I'm on my fifth, and I'm like, girl, this is not working. I put it on 55. 55? No, 46. Because it goes 36, 46, 55, and then again, even numbers, and then whatever. Um, even. And then I put on 46. This shit is not working. I'm on my second set, and I'm like, this shit is not working. This is my first time, right? Uh, so on my third set, I'm able to up it to 55 kilos on the leg press, Pyro. You roller skate, you're so cool. I have a photo of me on my first competition. I'm trying to think where it is. Wait, I'm trying to think where it is. I can't find it. Ah, found it. Baby Frankie? Baby Frankie. Yeah. Look, she's flexible. Look at those muscles. Look at those legs. Look at the muscles I had at the age of 10. 9? Look at those fucking legs. Yeah, that's right. So I get to the gym, 36 kilos. That's not cutting it. That's not fucking cutting it. I don't know how much I used to do on leg press. 110. Oh, okay. All right. All right. Well, I'm not that heavy, but that's good that I'm not that heavy. Cause am I flirting with my viewers? Am I crossing the viewer boundaries and all? Cancelled. Can't do those things nowadays. If you're a small or large content creator, I'm so shady. I can't do this. I'm so fucking shady. I'm joking. I'm literally just joking. There's no Twitter drama that I know of. There's no Twitter drama that I know of. Crossing the boundaries and flirting with the viewers that like you've known from friends of friends. I'm joking. I love you all so much. I like it, but if I ever like guys, if I ever cross fully a boundary, fucking let me know. Call me out. Call me out. Like, guys, are we talking about crushing stuff? Can I crush stuff? I've never tried crushing stuff with my legs. I don't think so. Actually, I'm lying. That's what. That's one of the machines I miss from the gym. I'm hoping I can build it up to like like the hundreds, but before that, I'll probably try my luck on. So the one I'm trying is not the. It's the automated like press, you know, like strength and all. I want to go up to the manual one, which is usually heavier to handle. To handle. Thank you, Tammy. Yeah, baby Frankie. She's so flexible at the look at that shit. Still can do this. What do we call this? I don't remember how we call this movement. This was. Do you guys know the movie Ice Age? I think it's Ice Age. Basically, I would be performing. That's why it's like blue and white. But I like the song was the Ice Age main song, kind of like that. I hated the movie, so I don't know why. Like my coach chose that because I said I don't like those movies. I never did. No offense to do that, but I'm just like I don't like these movies. You can crush those boundaries with me. You can crush me instead of boundaries. Wow, guys, I'm shy. Guys, I'm shy. I'm so shy on the internet. What are we talking about? I love that you guys just let me crush stuff. Hulk smash. Sorry, Tam. Your Riz game is better than Tam's? I will not comment. I will not comment. I like everyone's Riz. You take full offense. How dare you not share my opinions? I mean, this is exactly the things we can disagree on, Dwight. You know what I mean? Not like human rights. Because we don't, actually. I love how we just like on that. But these are the things that we can disagree on. So let's disagree. I said tonight, not overall. What's so special about tonight? What has happened? I'm thirsty. What has happened? Guys, you made me thirsty. Look at this shit. You made me so fucking thirsty. You love useless debates. What could we argue that is useless? I love arguing. I totally do not cry at the end of arguments or during arguments, but I love arguments. It's the Aries stellium in me. Sorry, I'll leave, I guess. Don't fucking leave. Do we have to argue about this? Do we have to argue about this? Who told you to leave? I love pointless friendly argument. I agree. You know what my toxic trait is? I need to always be right. But I'm like with my friends, they clock me out, right? My friends clock me out and they're like, girl, this is not gonna work. It's not gonna work. You're dead ass wrong. Um, but my toxic trait has always been I need to be right, and if I do, and if I'm wrong, I feel so fucking embarrassed. Erin, hi baby, how are you? Same. You are an Aries. You are an Aries girl, so you would know it because I have an Aries stellium, so you would know because you're an Aries. You're an Aries, right? I'm not. I'm not playing. I'm not. I'm not being. Soup is a drink, unless. Oh my god, are we arguing about the soup thing? Okay, we're arguing about the soup. I've never had an opinion on this. Okay, is soup a drink or a food? Let's debate. See, it's basically loads. My opinion is it's a food or a dish because it's loads of vegetables and other shit mixed. But it just happens to be liquid because it's mixed. But it's not like orange juice when it's the juice of an orange. But then would you call it? But then if we go that on that way, would you call like an iced tea for like or pina colada, which is like full of shit, a drink? We guys, given this theory, right? If we're applying this theory I just said, if you guys understood anything, because I didn't understand myself, is a pina colada? Is it a pina colada? Is it a drink or a food? But tomato soup is juice of the tomato. Surely not, because you use more than just tomato on the tomato soup, right? I like adding a little bit of potatoes to it. I just don't drink the broth, nor eat. Guys, I cannot do this. Right. Okay. So, what's beer made of? Is that a drink or a food? Isn't beer like? So it's never be, but it's never be. The flag just a beep, a beep, a beep. Why do you have that? What do you mean with that? It's always on the back. Don't act like you've never seen it. Don't act like you've never seen it. Guys, makeup reveal. No, guys, imagine I start stream. I do like a Bibble makeup. I start like this, guys. I have makeup review, and then you guys just see Bibble, and then I come out, and it's just like Bibble makeup. Oh my god! Can you please stay? Thank you. You always pull the best props. I don't know what to comment about. I love that you love that. I love that you love that. Someone's taking me out for drinks today. Oh, I saw in Panda stream that you were gonna. Where you gonna go? Oh, it's Veldar. Where you gonna go? Are you guys gonna have fun? Yes. Yes. By the way, the bell trick. I know it seems like I'm obsessed, but I don't remember if I asked you. Did the bell trick work? But there's also tomato juice. I never understood tomato juice. I've been playing Coral Island. Guys, did you know I've been playing Coral Island? I don't think I've said this on stream before, but I've been playing Coral Island. And I think you can even do it on Stardew, but I don't really play Stardew. And you can make tomato juice. And I was just like, why? Who drinks tomato juice? Who does that? Everything except that spur scarf. Do you want to argue about it in the bedroom? I don't know what to tell you. I don't know what to tell you. And what about it? And what about it? Yes. But there is one specific thing to have in consideration. It's the little flag at the bottom. If Sun Hyun Min would leave, I would leave. That scarf would come out. You know what I mean? Even Bibble knows. That scarf would come out. Because my obsession is with Sun. He's one of the best players in the world, who is in the shittiest team ever possible. And he only stays there because legacy. I don't know what he's holding on to. Maybe I could change him. It did? He was confused at first and had to explain it, but it did. Let's fucking go! Guys, the bell trick. It works. I know it works. I've tried it. Ari tried it. Feel free to try it, unless you don't know what the bell trick is. Do I have to explain again what the bell trick is? What is so smart? Dwayne, did you say something is so smart about, Ariana approved. Ariana approved. Yeah. Yeah. Also, have we watched Ariana Grande's new music video for The Boy Is Mine? I am obsessed. The Bibble makeup reveal. Oh my god, that would actually be so fucking smart. You know what I won one day? Although I wanted it for my 25th birthday and I didn't get it, which was very sad, but we don't talk about it. I've always wanted one. That Leonardo DiCaprio cake. Sabrina Carpenter got it for her 25th birthday. Where it's like the Leonardo DiCaprio pic of him like this, and then the Snapchat captions say, "No, girl, no, baby, don't turn 25." I wanted that, but the other one I also want is a Bibble birthday cake. I want that so fucking bad. Also, Spyro, I love how you just go like from full panic mode to what I said to then go, yeah, Sun's cool. Sun's cool, I guess. Yeah, Sun is really fucking cool, I guess. I don't think I washed my makeup brushes, so we don't talk about that. I am not an example. I have a whole ass makeup degree, and I'm not doing what I tell people to do. How about a cake wide enough to fit both designs? See, I can even use my hips as measurement. I think my hips would be the perfect measurement for a cake like that, like split in half. Surely you don't need a lot of space for. Oh, it could be like. You know how usually oh my god, my nose is always itchy when I'm doing makeup on stream. You know how the Bibble cakes you see on TikTok is like towers. So it could be like the Bibble tower, or like I don't know, the Bibble tower just coming like slowly down, and then it just right. the tower comes down and then it's just flat and then it's a picture of Leonardo DiCaprio. My mind is crazy. My mind is actually crazy. Sometimes I wonder what goes inside it, and I'm just like, I don't know why. I don't know why I think these things. Also, Olivia Rodrigo playing right now, very relatable. I'm gonna fucking cry whilst I'm applying primer on my eyes. Absolutely. Um, if you haven't checked what I'm doing today, check the. If you want to, you don't want to. If you're here for the vibes, I love you so fucking much. Um, but I want to feel like a mermaid. That's why I got this top out of my wardrobe, and I've lost so much fucking weight ever since. So this thing is just like bathing on me. It's crazy. It's crazy. That I do yet today I drove through the suburbs. Have I done shit with my points? What happened to my points? I don't know. I'm just gonna complete them. I don't know what's happening with my points. I don't know what's happening with my points. Is this the part where I run out of things to say? Is it? I don't know. I'm silent now. I can talk about my spot because this one is bad. This one is very, very bad. Also, I got a new sunscreen this weekend and I got a new manga, which I don't know how to feel about. Have you guys ever read or heard about the Yona of the Dawn manga? So I got that. I'm only still on the first book. And I'm just like, if only the guy, no spoilers, if only the guy had done this, like the bad guy had done this, we wouldn't have this story. We just wouldn't. So I'm just like, do I continue reading the manga? Do I return it? I don't like reading books and then returning it. That's really that's really, that's really, yeah. So I don't know. I don't know. Also, my eye's getting patchy, so I'm hoping the makeup actually goes well. I don't even know how it looks anymore. It's so beautiful. I just wish I was like, look at that. She's so pretty. Also, I'm doing all of this. I have to go into the office tomorrow. I just have to. Because I'm going to the gym in the evening. And then this is what they call bathroom makeup. You're just gonna remove it, but then sometimes the makeup is like eating up so much. I forgot I've got crystals left from Taylor Swift. Also, oh my god, guys, so Taylor Swift's been in Edinburgh and Diana went to night 3. It's crazy. Diana, our beautiful Balti bomb, like the surprises. You guys know that like on the Eras tour, she performs like surprise songs. Crazy how Diana got a mashup of Haunted and Exile. Just crazy. She deserves it so much. Hi, Steve. How you doing? Brr, brr. Thank you for being here. I miss you. How have you been? Let me refresh this because my chat is not working again. Love that. It's working now. Slay. Slay. I'm actually like, guys, to be vulnerable, I was supposed to have streamed on Friday and I didn't. I was actually like about to press the streaming button and I was like, I can't do this. I'm gonna kill myself. I am so out of it. I don't know what to play. I don't know what to play. I wanna. Why have I got smoking voice right now? All I wanna do is play Coral Island, but I'm gonna. Oh my god! Can you guys like hear that if I do that? Yes. Hi, Steve. Hi, Steve. Hi, Steve. Has Steve ever watched the clip where I say I love him? Right after I told him I'm jealous of him. Where's my fucking powder? Oh, it's right here. I've been so out of things to stream. I don't know if it's burnout or if it's just, I don't know. If you stream, have you ever felt this? Because I'm just, it's not even like growth or anything like that because I actually don't really give a fuck about that. care about like engaging with you people, like pleasing you. I care about pleasing you. I'm a pleaser. I'm a pathological people pleaser. Well, I want you to see her. If you don't know, that's a Taylor Swift song. Don't be shocked. Don't be shocked. Um, but if you ever felt like this, please let me know. Or like, if you don't need to let me know, I'm just like looking for tips because I am so lost on what to play and what to do. That's why I was supposed to be streaming Bewitching Sinners today. Again, that little dating game that I just forgot about. No, no, nothing against the game. The game is looks crazy. I'm just not in the mood for it. Um, I needed some makeup therapy because again, I have no idea what to do. But I really like my makeup streams. In her beauty influencer era, who knows? I have another spot on my forehead. What the fuck? I need a look. I need a makeup look. That is a crazy look. That is a crazy look. I don't know how I'm gonna pull that off. I have lashes. I do have lashes. That is crazy. Again, it's pinned. That is crazy. It's all greens. I don't even know if I have like enough greens. I don't even know if I have enough greens. My jade. Be honest, this palette never disappoints me. Has everything I need. I think I have everything I need, to be honest. In this little palette. It's the J. Thirlwall palette. Also, oh my god, Perry Edwards from Little Mix is releasing a new song. I am so fucking happy. Should I do the eyes first? Yeah, I think if I don't do the eyes first, this will not end well. So it's not even a cut crease, it's just a really wide smoky eye. In greens. Sort of bluish as well. With loads of dégradé in the middle. Thank you for the bun. Oh, I don't have mix it up open. Shit. Wait. Spyro. No, guys. I'm going to refund. Dwayne, can you refund? Spyro is. How can I assign your mixing? I would have. I wasn't. Rookie mistake. Um, it should be up now. Spyro, can you like Spyro? Dwayne, can you refund people so they can try again? Can we do that? Can we even do that? Let me know. Otherwise, I don't know what to do. I don't know how to add to it. Nope. There is a command for it. I know there is a command for it. Um, there is one. Unless you made it redeemable. No, but we can add the command for people. It was just my bad. Wait. Add first. Huh. Will this work? I'm hoping that worked. I'm hoping that worked. And now I don't think it did with the arg text. Surely it did. Also, don't even try because this is mods only. But you can do it, Wayne. Ari. Mod check. How do you check? Did I add one for that? No, it's an emote. I know it's an emote. I can't see the emote. I know it's an emote. Don't worry, baby. I know it is one. User banana collector. I don't even know. Okay. Dwayne, can you do exclamation mark banana collector, please? Do you remember how many? It would have been one. And now it has to be two. Did you do a banana collector last stream? Ari, if you're still here, don't worry. Can you do a banana collector? So you had 0. Okay, so it did go up. Slay! Slay! Fucking slay! Let's fucking go! Oh my god, guys, I'm a Twitch pro. Clearly, I even had Mix It Up open. I'm such a fucking pro. I can't redeem it anymore. If on chat, you do exclamation mark banana collector. Just to check how many you've got. Like this one. So that didn't work. Thank you for the banana collector. Tummy. Oh, whoa. Give banana collector. Can you do it now, please? Surely that has to work. Oh. Technical issues. Technical issues. What do you mean user could not be found? Oh, guys, I fucked it up. Guys, I fucked it up so bad. Ari, I'm so sorry. Dwayne, I'm so sorry. Thank you. I'm sorry. So maybe next time I have Mix It Up open. What if? Right, I'll do this. Guys, I promise I'll fix this up. I'll fix it up. Spyro and Tommy, thank you for the banana collectors. You guys are so hot for that. What I'm going to do, I'm going to remove the limit on banana collectors. Please don't abuse it. I love you all so much. Please don't abuse it. If you want to redeem that quickly, I will love you forever because I like having these things, right? I don't like stealing from people personally. Personally, I don't like stealing points from people. I've removed the limits for banana collectors, so Dwayne and Ari, if you want to do that real quick, and then I can limit it again. YOLO. Sly! Sly! Okay, it's done. Sly! Sly! Dwayne. Dwayne. Knock, knock, knock. He's probably not even here. I'm so sorry, my living boy. Thank you for redeeming the actual banana collector. Now it's counting. Now it's counting. Now it's counting. Are you guys gonna go? Are you and Valder going to like a specific place? Are you going to like a cocktail? Is this to celebrate your graduation again? I have another spot. That is so exciting. And even if it isn't, that is still so exciting. What color am I gonna use? Okay, I don't really have a dark green. I have this color here. Just like a light, very light, like bluish. I need to go grab another palette. Hi. Graduation ceremony is next month. Ah! That's so exciting. Can you hear because you miss him? It must have been a stressful month, I imagine. But you deserve that. I'm glad you guys reunited again. You have no clue. Is it a surprise? Is it a surprise? I grabbed this very old palette, so I'm gonna wear like this blue right here. Is he making it a surprise? The naughty, naughty. When it comes to like taking me out to places, I love surprises. Don't you love that? Makes it so exciting. No expectations, just vibes. I need to relax my... Okay, it's a really wide, smoky eye. Also, I'm so proud... Oh, okay, I fucked it up. I'm so proud of you, my love. Graduating is no small feat. Either that or he doesn't. I don't know him, and I don't want to be mean, but I've been through that, to be honest. Relatable. Shouldn't be relatable, but yeah. It's a really wide smoky eye. Oh my god, this eyeshadow palette is so fucking old, and it's so... It's like peak 2019 eyeshadow palettes are just so questionable. No hate against the brand, it's just, it is what it is. Like, it just literally is what it is. It's a really wide one. My god. Here we go again. Here we go again. Here we go again. Just literally praying for the best. I'm so hungry. I extended it a little bit too much, but that's easy because I can just clean that one up. Also because I want more of a mermaid look. So I think the extending the eyeshadow won't be so bad. I do also want to add crystals. Not actual crystals, but, you know, crystals. It goes so high up on a brow. I don't know how to feel about that. Also, this is gonna go all over my white top. I just know it. Fucked up. Oh, that would have been cute. Cute. Dwayne, thank you for the 100. By the way, you cannot redeem the banana collector, so I can put the limit again, my love. It will. That actually would have been better. That's fine. Trust the process. Thank you, my love. Thank you for the banana collector. I can save it now. The maths are mathing. No, thank you for the patience and not accusing me of stealing just because you needed that banana today. You can grab a couple if you need more than that. Why do I do this? Sometimes I hate being myself. Sometimes I just want to be different. Sometimes I don't want to be me. sometimes I don't want to be me. Sometimes I don't want to. Yeah, banana. Look, look, look. Where's the banana? Look, 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 look. Banana, 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 banana. Is that one a free one? I think so. Yeah, it is. Banana, 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 banana. Love bananas. I You didn't know that was a follower. Yeah, the heart one because you know the new heart one that I added? That one because it's animated, I can't like if it was a free one and it feels a little bit iffy to put it on follower and sub mode, but I can't it's animated, so I don't think I can put it on follower. Um because I think animated ones are just for that is smelly. But it's not like I hope the content creator, like the artist, doesn't accuse me of like doing shit. But it was just like can't really do anything about it. You know what I mean? I still want it on my stream, and it was for Twitch as well. See, I'm going to have to clean this up because this one is just not cutting it. This one is too down. This one is okayish. I'm not liking this. I'm not liking this. I'm not liking this at all. Well, we got banana. We did get banana. You know what? I'm getting my eyes punched. That's why they look blue. Cause I don't know how much I like this. I don't know how much I like this. I fucked it up because she only smoked in the middle and outside. Oh fuck. Redeemable, maybe? Maybe? Maybe it is redeemable. Hopefully it is redeemable. It doesn't help that I'm so angry. Angry. I'm hungry. I'm hungry. Which is surprising because I had a late lunch. I had a really late lunch. Okay, I'm going to use my eyeshadow for the day today, so I'm going to regret doing this for tomorrow because I need to do my makeup for work tomorrow, and I know I'm going to regret this. Here, now, now. Fine, I want more of a mermaid look anyways. Just say you suck, Frankie, and go. You suck. I don't have a lot of greens. This is a terrible choice. I don't have a lot of greens. I don't have a lot of greens. Wait, I need to go grab another palette. I'm a bit annoyed because I don't have like a deep green. I just don't. It's a little bit annoying. I'm just going to like adding a little bit of a lime green to this just to also diversify the look a little bit and distinguish it a little bit. This will all look so much better. You know what? With glitter. Glitter makes everything so much better. Trust. I just opened it a lot. That's what I did wrong. Glitter makes everything so much better. I wore this thing for Taylor Swift. Just like oh, agile shit. Just like roll on glitter, and oh my god, did it make my like everything look so much better. Literally. Taylor Swift. Taylor Swift. I don't have a deep green. I have a deeper yellow. Okay, I'm going to have to improvise. And have to add brown. I'm going to have to add brown. I don't have another choice. Turn the drill to see. Also, can you hear Spotify well without being like too low or not like too overwhelming? Too overpowering, I mean. Okay. It's fine. Thank you. Okay, the brown is where it's like murky waters. Okay, the brown is giving it a little bit more. Do you know what I mean? The brown is definitely giving it a little bit more. Also, my god, guys, biggest slay ever. Next week, if everything goes well and my eyes don't fucking avert to contact lenses, I'm going to start wearing contact lenses. Oh my god, and my makeup won't like smudge with my glass. I have really high cheeks, and like I could avoid my makeups. My fucking scarf. Fuck. I could avoid my makeup smudging with like a really strong setting spray, like the Kryolan one, which is like used for theater. It's really strong, loads of alcohol in it. But I don't want to dry out my face personally. So I would like to opt out from wearing that every day I go into the office or like when I stream to have like, you know, I don't want that. Thanks. To God go. But I am so hyped because I don't think I've ever worn contact lenses in my life that I remember of. Maybe I have when I was younger. I don't remember. At least I told I told Vision Express that I never. So if I lied, YOLO. Not that I think they care. Because I had a whole ass new eye test done on me. Turns out I'm not as blind as I thought I was. Because like the last one I had was nearly 2 years ago. But I don't like they told me my vision hasn't decayed that as much. So I don't even need new glasses because I also told the girl the optometrist whatever. Also told the girl who did my eye test that I just got new eyeglasses. So if she gave me a new prescription, I would like out myself. I didn't say that, but you can kind of like being like I was just like please don't tell me that my vision has it. And she's like we'll see. We'll see. It hasn't that much. You're like you're fine with your current prescription. It's not that much of a difference. I'm like, slut? Biggest slut? Let's add that. Ow. Guys, if this goes wrong, please don't judge me. I'll just remove my makeup and go play video games if this goes that wrong. Literally. Literally, that's what I will do. Was that the warm? Was that the, I don't even know how this... Did we just get 2 ads in a row? Oh, was that the... If you're in that jail twice, I am so sorry. I don't know what just happened. That one was so... He can't even hear me. They can't even hear me. Why was it loud? It was loud? Don't be loud. Can't wait to ask them when they come back. What was it about? Is 100%, 1,000% a Twitch problem? Tell me about it. My god. My god. The volume problem with ads. Can you still see? If you're seeing this, can you read the closed captions whilst you're on ad? Hello. Hello. I need to start adding the glitter. Glitter. Okay. Let's start with a sparkly green, like the deepest one I've got. Which side is it? Okay, I'm using a fluffy brush. This is not gonna work. Frankie, that's not gonna work. Okay, maybe the brown is not working as well as I thought it would. I'm not trusting the process, y'all. I'm just not. I'm just not trusting that process. The process is not processing. But if I add like a copper... If I add like a little copper... Oh, hell yeah. That's what I'm talking about. Welcome back from jail. What was the ad, Dwayne? Why was it so loud? I've just literally been like struggling with my makeup. Because it's not hot girling. Before you go. Summertime sadness. Okay, maybe sponsored will look good. Let's pray for the best. Okay, this is not giving mermaid. This is like giving like dirty the Thames River. That's what it's giving. I hate it. I hate it. Fine, I can fix it. I can fix it. I can fix it. Summertime sadness. I can fix it. It's fine. This is giving Thames River. This is not giving mermaid. Literally. Why is the light not lighting? Hold up. I'm blind. Okay, I'm adding like more browns than what the look original. Have I just been muted or did I just mute myself? My god. Hopefully not. Also, I have mermaid earrings, the cutest. And I forgot to do something. How could I? Because I need to blow dry my hair for tomorrow. Like, at least curl it. Do not make fun of me, please. Oh. Please do not make fun of me. This is what hot girlies do. This is literally what hot girlies do when they wash their hair. I don't make the rules. The sun is the stars. One of the few times this year I went to Portugal, my dad made. Ow, what is this? It's too much hair. My dad saw me with this. I think it was on Christmas. I think I was getting ready for my grandest funeral. Rest in peace. Rest in peace. Me and my curls could never. You don't need this. You don't need this. You have natural curls. I'm so jealous. Actually, I'm gonna like people who have curls, like different kind of people. You guys are soldiers. You guys are soldiers. Anyways, my dad saw me with like wearing one of these once I was getting ready for my granddad's funeral. Rest in peace. And my dad started making like my dad and I will just make fun of each other. That's my dad. That's my relationship with my dad. It's a really constructive relationship. Where we learn a lot from each other by making fun of each other. That's how my dad and I work. That's all he's useful for, to be honest. Poor soul. Love my dad to pieces. Jokes. He's very useful. But again, I can make fun of my dad. You guys can't. You know what I mean? And he sees me with this and he just starts laughing his ass off. And I'm just like, have you never seen a woman before in your life? Have you never seen a woman before in your life, man? Please. Have some decorum. I'm your daughter. Literally. I think I'm going to add a little bit of a blue. Hate my life. Hate my life. Actually, maybe I don't. Maybe I don't. Maybe I don't. Maybe I don't hate it. Maybe I don't. No, I don't actually. Slay! My god, what a slay. Hopefully, maybe I don't look fucking crazy on chat, on stream. I don't know, but I kind of like it in real life. Look at all that fallout. That's crazy. I have wrinkles. That's crazy. That is actually crazy. I have wrinkles. How dare a woman age? That is actually a little bit too much, but we can work with that. Maybe? 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 I can hear the seagulls outside. Also, I'm like I think I'm slowly like focusing way too hard. I'm dissociating. So please forgive me if I'm going way too quiet. I know that's not my usual self, but please for oh my god, I look crazy in front of the mirror. I have oh my god, that is crazy. You guys can't see it, but it's not as bad in camera, but I look crazy because of the fallout underneath my eyes. That is crazy. This pot is annoying me. Hey, good girl. Okay, we didn't totally fail. Let's fucking go with glitter. Oh my god, I'm going to like oh my god. Everything looks better with glitter, including my clothes and my chair and my desk and my keyboard, my desk, my everything looks better with glitter. Everything. If you've ever met someone who says they hate glitter, they're lying to you. You've never met someone who hates glitter because such person does not exist. It's all lies. Everyone loves glitter. And if you've actually met someone who hates glitter, it's probably because they made something bad to their like an ex-partner who upon leaving the relationship got into their house and probably left their entire house full of glitter. So that's why if you've ever met someone who hates glitter said such thing. It's probably because they've done something bad in the past. No offense. Let's fucking go. Dude, actually, this is very murky mermaid. This is giving very murky mermaid, but you know what? I am here for it. I think personally, Chaperone would wear something like this. Would like do like wear such makeup for like a concert. Personally, I think Chaperone would do such thing. I need more. I need more glitter. I need more glitter. This is not enough. This is not enough. I need more glitter. I need more glitter. Oh, I fucked up. Oh, I fucked up so bad. I actually fucked up really bad because this is like a liquid. Fuck me. Fuck me, I fucked up. I fucked up, I fucked up, I fucked up. Can you see that? Oh, it's wet. It's a wet patch. Not good. Not good, guys. Not good. Okay, could be worse. Could be worse. To this, I need to go wash my hands because I'm like, they're full of glitter. My god. I'm full of glitter. I'm made of glitter at this point. I'm gonna go wash my hands. I'll be right back. Okay, I'm going to use something I don't usually use. I have it for the gym. I'm going to use makeup wipes. Guys, avoid using makeup wipes if you can. But I don't have any more cotton pads to, like, take the excess off with primer. So I'm going to have to go with this. That is crazy. Slay. These makeup wipes burn me a little bit, and I don't know why. Beep, 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 beep. Ooh, all right, okay, 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 okay. I see it. I see it. All right, okay, 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 girl. Go, no, go off. Go off. I just got a Steam notification for Spyro. That's so funny. Not me outing Spyro. I'm sorry, Spyro. It was a really funny game. I just don't have enough glitter on the other side. Okay, the dark patch is not so bad, but it's there and I see it. I don't know how to feel, and I don't want more glitter. Why am I lying? I need to apply primer underneath my eyes, otherwise this is not gonna fly. Also, I think I left my NARS foundation at Diana's because I can't find it anywhere. The last time I used it would have been at her house. Which is very tragic because I love that foundation for stream. Oh, go off. Go off with that glow. Slay. That's fine because I have my main foundations, which are not great for stream, but they work. They work. Alright, I'm glowing. Let's fucking go. Let's fucking go. Fucking go. Look at us. Slay. Am I done with the eyes? No, I still need to do the underneath of my eyes, but I can't do it until I start foundation. I'm thinking. I'm thinking. This is crazy. It's not even going to the right place. The right way, I mean. Where's my... People are so noisy where I live. Swear. Oh, I forgot the crystals. How could I? Same Bessie. No, for real. You get me. I ran out a few crystals. Oh my god, I look so... I don't know. um, People are just crazy these days. I don't get it. I'm crazy too, but Bessie, please. Let's chill. Like, I can't be... Exactly. Exactly. Like, I can... Do you want me to start singing Beyonce really out loud? Because I already do that. I can do that if you want to. Like, this is not a competition. But, like, have some decorum. Like, you get me. No, you get me. I highly doubt that you go off singing Beyonce, Dwayne. But I mean, I don't know. Do you? Does anyone here in chat besides me go off singing Beyonce like so fucking loud? Because I do. Maybe not Beyonce. What would you? What do you sing like so out loud? Where would I put the crystals? Where would I put the crystals? Hmm. I'll put a black one here. I think that would be really cute. I'm fake gay. You're fake gay? You're fake gay? Fake gay? Who? What? What? Can you please explain to me? Because I'm a fucking boomer at this point. I don't understand the kids these days. I'm too old for this shit. At the ripe age of 26, I'm too old for the kids. What is a fake gay? Please explain from queer to queer. What is a fake gay? Okay, Crystal, go off. Please don't do this to me today. Not on stream. Don't embarrass me like this. Thank you. You are a hetero? Honey, the closet is glass. I know who you're trying to fool. Yeah, it was. Was it? I was just joking. Was it actually? Extremely. Actually, I actually don't know how my mom never clocked it that I might bend to the other. Do you know how to bend? Yeah, where's Billie Eilish? I actually. Oh my god, I'm playing the 1975. Oh, I don't know this song. Guys, if you on my see on my Spotify history or my earbuds, I've been playing Spotify. No, I have not. I do not know this man. Fuck that guy. I hate the 1975 personally. That man can choke. Personally. No offense. You had a crush on like 4 dudes growing up and never quit. I used to ship for like on Twilight. Like, okay, Twilight. Okay, let's Twilight. Let's position Twilight, right? I used to ship and talk a lot about Alice and Bella fanfic to my mom. I came out to her when I was like 12, 13. I just don't know. She was just like, I think that's a phase. And I'm just like, now I'm looking back and I'm like, how did she never clock it? I would openly talk about the fanfiction, the Twilight fanfiction I would read. Not like, I wouldn't tell about the explicit ones. We don't talk about that. But, or at least I wouldn't tell my mom how explicit they were. But like, I would talk about them. And I don't think, how did our parents never clock it, Wayne? How did our parents never clocked it? Are they truly that hetero? I mean, I don't know. I'm assuming at this point, and I don't like assuming, but my mom is a hetero. But I can relate to the 4 crushes because same. The closet was glass. Crystal, come back. Crystal, come back. Please, baby, please. Don't do this to me on stream today. Please don't do this to me on stream today. That is the wrong place to be. Oh, it's okay. Okay, they're not even. Fuck. My mom doesn't give a fuck. Is why she's just like, you can love whoever you want. Me, don't bother me personally, but oh my god, they're not straight guys. They're just as gay as that we are, Jane. They're not straight. They're not straight. I fucked up. Let me harmonizing the song. She's one of those heteros that's like, you're gay? Okay. You're gay? Okay. I could have told you that from the beginning. Maybe not. Maybe being twins, maybe not. You okay? Lives been changed? No. Lives have not been. You're in Pride Month? Her gaydar is kind of meh. Is it? Maybe she needs a bit more practice. My gaydar used to be so good, and now it's shit. Now it's absolute fucking shit. We don't talk about how I know my gaydar is super shit. It's a bit embarrassing. It's actually a little bit embarrassing how I know. Only because she always fell for a guy, right? I can't relatable at all. That's not what I was talking about, like at all. I can't relate to your mom personally. That's definitely not how I know that my gaydar is absolutely not gaydaring. I totally do not fall for Mickey. What are you talking about? I can't tell you how many times she was like, he's gay? Why is every good? She's asking the real questions, you know? From a hetero to another hetero. She's asking the right questions. No, but like you guys also deserve it. You guys also deserve. Everyone deserves the good people. Why am I just showing my bra to everyone here today? Jesus Christ. Jesus Christ. You're a certified. In whose eyes? In whose eyes am I a certified hetero? I'm looking at the flag on the floor. Do heteros have a flag? Is there a straight flag? Look, I feel like if you're straight passing, it's like you have a degree in. I'm straight passing. Like you are a hetero, but you know the ins and outs. Do you know what I mean? Because unfortunately, 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 my dating history. I don't want to talk about my dating history. That's too personal. I can make fun of it, but I like going into specifics is too much. It's black and white. Sorry, is my mod call? Are you actually calling me out? Or are you just like talking? Are you calling me out right now? Is my guys? Is my mod calling me out? No, the straight flag. Oh, the straight flag. Is there a straight flag? That's my question. Is there a straight flag? Girl, come on. I don't know. I take everything so fucking. No, it's diamonds. It's black and white stripes. Oh, it's actually black and white. It's hideous. Kind of looks like this. You know the Sims robber from the Sims 1 and Sims 2. Kind of is like that. You know the stripe. It looks like a prison put fit. It looks like a prison put fit. Put it. Oh my god, I can't say those words. He's gonna come for me. I swear. Something it hurts to be nothing at all. I'm gonna fucking cry. This song makes me cry every time. Okay, go off, girl. Go off. We're going somewhere. It does, like, imagine it. It does look like a prison. I'm full of shit. Okay, let me see if I can. Straight. The straights really looked at it and I'm like, Okay, hold up. Okay, hold up. Let's get this straight. Hi. Shit. Not me doxing myself on stream again. YOLO. The straights really looked at this and they said, good job. Really good job, people. Yeah. Really good job. They really did. They really went here, looked at this, and they're like, yeah. Really good job. Pat on the shoulder. Did they actually do that? Who did this? Who did this? Distinguished. Yeah, they looked at that and like, distinguished. That is a sleigh. They literally went there and they probably didn't say sleigh because it's straight. So I don't know. I know a lot of straights who nowadays say sleigh, and I'm just like, you can't say sleigh the same way, the same gay way I say sleigh. You can't. I can. I know a lot of straights saying sleigh, but they literally went there and it's just like, oh, we're gonna appropriate the sleigh from the queers. And we're gonna be like, sleigh. Yeah, okay. Go off, girl. You do you, boo. The blue and pink one is transphobic. Is it? There's one like that? I didn't notice it. We don't rate transphobia in here. Fuck that. If you're transphobic, if you're a J.K. Rowling supporter, go fuck yourself. Gently. Or aggressively, I don't know, whatever floats your boat. As long as you go fuck yourself. Personally, I don't like those people. And I'm very keen on my opinions on that. And it's because of my Aries stellium, and it's unlikely that I will change my mind. So if you think I'm a bad person, good. I'm trying to put the diamond. No! Wrong. All I remember is Dante when I was prepping for Taylor Swift and I was putting these same little crystals. I was just like, oh my god, Frankie, that is so fucking stressful. I'm like, you tell me about it. You don't have to do this shit. I mean, you could, but you don't want to. I'm like, tell me about it, girl. It is stressful. This is what hot people go through. Stress. Hot people are stressed. Oh, it's way too small. I read that somewhere that the creator of the flag was an LGB no T bitch or something. Or no, they were straight, LMAO. LGB ally, no T. There we go. LGB is mentioned and I go, what? Those little pesky fuckers. You're humiliating me. Literally. You are, you LGB allies. You are, not, don't confuse it with LGBTQ plus. You LGB allies are embarrassing me. Please tone it down and just add the T and the plus and a Q. LGBTQ plus. Just add it. It's not hard. It's not hard to be a good, nice fucking person. Did the diamond follow? It's just too small. It's just too small. It's just too small. Oh my god. What time is it? Can stream until like 9:30, I think. Think that's what I can do. There we go. Do my rhymes make no sense? No, your ramblings do make sense. Do I make no sense? Probably. So that's who created the flag. If you had told me J.K. Rowling and her little minions had created a straight flag, I would have believed you. I despise that woman so much. There's only a handful of people I despise in the world. Like, a handful, actually. I'm not even on, like, a handful. Two handfuls, maybe. Not making this up. It takes a lot for me to, like, despise someone, actually. Because I know it's shocking, but I can actually see the middle term for most. I know it doesn't seem like it, but I can actually see, like, the gray in the color wheel. But my god, do I despise that woman so much. Which is a little bit. I will call my hypocrisies out. You know who my equivalent to J.K. Rowling is? Sarah J. Maas. Sarah J. Maas, you will be the bane of my existence, you little woman. The turf flag would be wild. Is there a turf flag? Oh, she would actually pop off. She would actually, like, she's only popped off, like, how many books are there in Harry Potter? And even then, she's allegedly stole from, like, another author, but we don't talk about that. I actually can't comment much. This is all alleged. I don't know much about it, to be honest. So I'm just throwing it in the air. I'm saying it alleged. But how many Harry Potter books are there? That's how many times she's popped off. Potentially, I don't know. I've never really been into Harry Potter, so I don't know. But who's a fascist? Wait, who's a fascist? Is J.K. Rowling a fascist? Oh, I love the song. Fuck me. No! She's a fascist? Okay, hold up. I've got something to say. Wait, I've got something to say. You're never gonna believe what I'm gonna say. You're shocked! You're shocked! I haven't been very involved with her politics. Other than her... Then she... Again, I don't really know because I blocked her out. And I have her name muted, so I don't know. I do know she kind of... She did support Israel at one point, didn't she? Not me allowing the... Not me opening the gates. Fucking hell, it's gonna flow in here. Not me opening the gates in chat. Put you down slow. Just don't get it. But yeah, for me, Sarah J. Maas is literally the equivalent of my J.K. Rowling. I refuse, however, from now on, to buy any more of her books. Either, like, directly, either secondhand, or, like, the P word. Like, P. But I cannot talk about those things on Twitch because I'm gonna get banned if I do talk about those things. So I didn't say anything. Is there a smaller crystal? Or is that as small as they go? Is that a sleigh? Is that as small as it goes? No, I think I can do... Ah! I'm not shocked. She is an utter piece of shit. She is the worst. It's not only that, like, she actually made loads of damage. She's been able to, like, create a whole movement and have laws being questioned, and not... I don't believe she has had any, like, sort of laws in specific past in favor of her movement, but she's made things being questioned because she's a big voice, and that's of a concern for people's freedoms. People's freedoms. So fuck that bitch. Fuck that bitch. No, me. Probably someone's gonna report me for hateful content. Oh my god. Again, this is why I can't open my mouth on Twitch, because I have big opinions and a big mouth. And if they run, I get reported for hateful content, even though it's not really hateful, but... These fucking crystals, man. Is this what the astrology girls say every day? These fucking crystals. Because if I was fully... Like, I like astrology, duh. But if I was fully into crystals, I think that's what I would, like, complain every single day. These fucking crystals, man. Okay, I can't look in chat right now because I'm struggling with the glue and the... Oh my god. Please. Don't do this to me today. Not today, Satan. Not today. No, 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 no. You are actually working. Please. That's the wrong place. Hating on a transphobe. How dare you hate on someone who's hating? Hateful content is funny. It's just... How dare I? Please, guys, don't report me. I'm actually begging at this point. Please, guys, don't report. I'm just a small guy. I don't even have 100 followers. Please, don't even. I'm just a baby who happens to hate J.K. Rowling for good motives. It's not hateful content. It's just my opinions. I can't fucking put this crystal there. I did it! I did it! Me just going, I did it! Take your time. The fucking audacity. I've already reported you to Rishi. How does he speak? Yeah, these immigrants. No, sorry, British accents. These immigrants really need to be getting deported. You know, we cannot have these immigrants speaking hateful comments, spitting hateful comments, because he shakes a lot, spitting hateful comments about our utmost writer, J.K. Rowling. Do you know what I mean? That's what Rishi Sunak speaks. We can't do that. Slay. Actually, that was really bad. That was a really bad Rishi Sunak impression. Oh my god. Sometimes I wonder. Sometimes I wonder what my life would be. Sometimes I wonder what my life would be if I wasn't such a fucking fool. Is that a sleigh? Is that a sleigh? I don't like that little crystal. I think I mean, I don't know. I don't know. Me no no. Me no no. He doesn't even try LOL. He's just like, the goal is protecting. The goal is protecting women and children. And our country. Our country? Beyonce? Our country. That's right. Our country. Imagine. What a fucking cunt. Actually, I think I would be lost. I can't vote on the general ones, but I think I'd be very lost this year. Not gonna lie. The Brits have a really big task, but it's not my job because I don't have citizenship. How dare you use that word in his speech? He's a cunt, so therefore he has the right to use the word country. That says right as a British, as a citizen of the UK country, to use the word country because he's cunt. Oh god. Imagine I apply for citizenship, right? Imagine I apply for citizenship, right? And you know how they have to like do the background checks and all, and then I go to my interview and then they clip, imagine someone clips this video. I'm just like, I can see who clipped the video, or they take a screenshot. Okay, I can't see screenshots of videos. And then they just like slide down a screenshot of they slide down the desk a screenshot of me saying this shit, and they're like, so what have you got to say for yourself? Oh, I was talking in like fanfic terms. I wasn't talking about real terms. I was talking like what if terms, like fanfic. Imagine, do you think that there are Rishi Sunak fanfics? AO3. AO3, guys, you're gonna come along. You know what I mean? Guys, do you think that there is do we think that there is AO3 fanfics? Where's my chat? Where's my chat? Yeah, and he absolutely bottoms. He absolutely bottoms. Like, absolutely. Hold up. Log in. Let me log in. Hi, this is my AO3. No, we don't talk about that. Chew fights Rishi Sunak. Who is this? Luna from Luna. Can you guys see that? Like, is he still taking Rishi Sunak? Is this actually? Is this actually? Wait, the teeth have been slowly gathering under the bed for over a year now. What? Kawaii femboy X reader one shots. This is chapter 1. The more you look, the clearer the details become. It's a hippo made of entire teeth in yellow tartar. Is it describing him? Alright, okay. It's a horrid sight to behold, and yet you can't help but stare in wonder at this strange and disgusting spectacle. And Juhen the hippo does a little dance while repeating these words in German. The hippo is now doing a little jig while. What am I reading? Is it actually. No, next chapter. I was. YN Pop. I was walking through the house of If Common when all of a sudden I hear a strange noise coming from the Prime Minister of England's England. She's not wrong. Technically, they, I don't know. Vaya is kind of gay, but not really. It's actually Rishi Sunak. Wait. Oh, which. Okay, alright, okay, let's chat from the beginning. I hear a strange noise coming from the Prime Minister of England's office, which sat right next to the boba and manga store. Because Rishi will evaporate if he doesn't read. I fucking cry. I don't fucking believe it. Rishi will evaporate if he doesn't read. It's a MH Emmanuel and drink strawberry milk boba with his Discord friends, Arson and Bug. It's once every 2 hours. This is what they do in the House of Cards. What is going on in the House of? Oh, I can't. Where are my glasses? I can't do this. I'm gonna fucking kill myself. I bring the giant sack of binders and trans flags that Rishi had asked me to bring to his house so that he could swipe his house. What is going on? Did you see that? This is transphobic. I'm laughing at like I think like just read the context. Please don't cancel me. I can't read the context of what we're doing. So that he could wipe his I'm not gonna we had a great British shit off with Liz Truss, Boris Johnson, and a few Tories. Romer has it that he had outshitted all of the other politicians in the House of Commons through his mouth as well as his. So, we went from makeup stream to reading Rishi Sunak. You only read the. This is iconic. Although he isn't the first to do it, he sure did it the most and most successfully with 13-year-old boys all around specifically the North worshipping his transphobic hate speech. I walk into his office to see the Rishi Sunak himself using his rose toy that I got him for his no one voted him in, but he's Was there a bot? I didn't even see it. Was there a bot? Or are you talking like general? I am at a loss for words. No, you typed it. This is why you read everything before speaking. I can't do this anymore. I can't do this anymore. Right, okay, I need to finish at least this chapter. To see the Rishi Sunak himself using his rose toy that I got him for his no one voted him in, but he's here at a celebration. He faced the wall, shaking as he stared at the country he sent into financial ruin. He noticed that I had entered and his head snapped back in an inhuman poltergeist? I can't even read. His eyes rolled back and his mouth foamed, and he brought the rose toy into his mouth and began to scream at the sight of the trans flag in front of him. He flopped onto the floor and I ran away in terror. What am I supposed to say to this? Rishi Sunak fandom. Okay, there's only one. Rishi Sunak. Oh my god. Rishi Sunak's vegan sausage roll. Rishi and Boris get like, okay, I've got something to say. You can make fun of me for being like a stan, right? For being like a stan. I am a proud stan. I know everything. I know everything about stan culture to the point it is actually a little bit horrifying and very worrying. But you cannot tell me that I can't love the stan culture. Trump is the group chat. You can't say that stan culture isn't fucking iconic because we are here witnessing firsthand Rishi Sunak, Boris Johnson getting freaky fanfic, and apparently they made Trump dating Trump, Putin. Rishi Sunak and Boris Johnson inspired by my friends. This was How to Train Your Dragon and Good Omens. What does that have to do with? I'm at a loss for words. I'm actually at a loss for words. I am at a loss for words. I am at a loss for words. There is Rishi Sunak. Fun fiction. I know what I'm reading tonight. You'd rather see Trump and King People really do have time in their hands. I'm not judging. Like, it's oh my god, there is Rishi Sunak, Boris Johnson. You can't tell me that I can't love stan culture because we get this. We get these little moments in life. The things that matter. The things that matter. You know what the things are that matter? Rishi Sunak fanfiction, Trump fanfiction, Putin fanfiction. That's what matters. Everything else, nothing else matters. This is what. I'm at a loss for words. I truly am. I truly I miss the person I was 10 minutes ago. I miss the person I was 10 minutes ago. I What am I supposed to do? How am I supposed to live, laugh, love in these conditions after this? Quotes must be enabled, and at least one quote must be. Thank you, Pancho. Thank you. I haven't added quotes. I don't think so. And mix it up. It's on Fossa. You know what the little things that matter are? Rishi's. I'm gonna post this on his channel, and it's going to be super fucking confusing. I'm telling you right now. It's gonna be so fucking confusing. Which one did I add? Oh, the medium one. Which one is that? Oh, this one? I'm hoping. Okay. There will be no more conversation. There will only be Rishi Sunak fanfiction. Literally. No more conversation. Only Rishi Sunak fanfiction. Sometimes I wonder I wonder a lot about what I'm doing on this planet. Like, what is the meaning of my life? Like, I know, like, it doesn't matter at the end of the day, but I still wonder what the meaning of life is a lot. And then I end up on stream. I end up on stream, you know, reading Rishi Sunak. I am fucking not. Oh, there's an ad in 5 minutes. Who doesn't look for, right? Like, because we all had this idea 10 minutes ago. We all regularly do those things. It's not like something that popped. We all do those. Yeah, sometimes, like, I wonder a lot about what the meaning in my life is. And then I come on stream and read Rishi Sunak fanfiction. And then I find, I fulfilled my life today. Fucking hell, I lost my fucking crystal. Okay, it's on. It's not even, but we're talking about that. No, you're gonna miss your fanfic? How did we even get here? Oh my god, we were talking about J.K. Rowling. We're talking about J.K. Rowling. Then we went on to like spit non-hateful comments about. Okay, that's not the same size. That's just not the same size. Please ignore. Please ignore. That's fine. It's giving gay because it's not straight. It's not the same. And that is a-okay. Um, I too find a lot of understanding with political sex. What do you mean? You find a lot of understanding with that. Oh, political smut. Yeah, there's a lot of understanding to go on about that. You can find a lot of reasonings and life mottos and a lot of life lessons by reading AO3 fanfic about UK politicians fucking each other. Do you know what I mean? I think there are a lot of life lessons to be learned from those fanfics. And I think people should get on that game really soon. Yarpa yarp by reading about Sunak getting pegged. That is deep. That is deep. Not this song playing. This song is sad. This song is sad, and we're talking about Rishi Sunak getting definitely not pegged. I say out of mind. It takes time. I thought I was better safe than sorry. Wait, focusing time. Never before. That's a. Imagine I still lived with my parents, and my parents speak English. They don't really. They can understand, but they don't really speak English. And I just get here, and I'm speaking about this shit. Slow down, boy. That is just not the same. Read the room, Spotify. Stop playing Taylor Swift. That's just not giving. I don't like this side, and now this. I don't like the outers. I like the inner ones, but that's about that. Oh, it went to wings of flame. I should have memorized which ones I was using. And you took me to hell too. Oh my god, what a day. This has I would love to put this on TikTok, but if I put this on TikTok, then Rishi Sunak will find the shit probably. Because it's always the politics videos that go viral in it. For fuck's sake, not on my not here. Um it's always those that go viral, right? And then he would just end up like trying to pass a motion to get TikTok banned before he gets off the office. I mean, to be honest, not because the government has already been wiped for the upcoming voting. But I don't know. Cinephile in black and white. Why have I got Smoker's voice today? Oh my god. It's nearly 9 o'clock and I'm not done with the crystals. Because we've been reading Rishi Sunak fanfiction. This is all my fault. I wish I could recall how we almost had it all. What a clip moment. Can't get out of bed. Bye, Ad. Hi, Ad. It was legendary. It was momentary. It was unnecessary. Should I let it stay buried? Oh, what a valiant roar. What a bland goodbye. Oi. Oi, guys, crystals are hard. It's getting there. I need to hurry the fuck up, because I still need to put lashes on to finish the look. I need water. I haven't drank water. Helvala. Ta-da! That's not the same size. That doesn't look like the same size to me. My god. I cannot believe that there. Oh my god, I swear, I've got something new to talk about. Um, to talk about at work tomorrow. I can't wait to tell my colleagues that there's Rishi Sunak fun fiction. I'm not over it. I don't think I'll ever be over it. Starry-eyed in your Jehovah's Witness suit. I will never get over it. I slime did it. Did it. Did it. I do need to add a little bit of like where are my false eyelashes? Do we feel eyelashes? Do I cut them? If resting my sparkling summer was a goal. Do I cut them? Hi, Agile. Back from Agile. Yeah, I'm gonna cut them. Hi, back from Agile. However, I need to go get some water. I'm gonna be fine. I'm so quick. I'm so quick. I promise. Hi, Ad Warden. Oh, goodbye again. I'm so back. I just needed some water. I haven't been hydrating, and I owe you an hydrate. Oh my god, get the scissors out. Oh my god. Is this slaying? Hope so. How are you enjoying it? Rishi Sunak and all. Is it? Is it? Yeah, I owed you a... Sid. Swear, my work colleague and Bessie does not know how iconic she is. I need to get her on like Twitch game because so she can understand how iconic she is. I have a huge pimple here and it's a cystic one. I just know it. It's such a slay. It's also the fact that she doesn't even realize she's saying Isid. She doesn't even realize it. Were you a sleeper cell spy? I'm going to cut my lashes. Where did I put my lash? I lost my lash. Oh my god, guys, we have... Oh no, I found it. And I'll say good riddance. Cause it wasn't sexy once it wasn't forbidden. She doesn't realize I've sold you. Lash down. She knows. I've told her. I've told her. But I don't think she realizes, like... Let me see if this is a slay. Yeah. I don't think she realizes the magnitude of her impact. Horns? Oh, Panda! Oh my god, girl, welcome in. Oh my god, welcome in. Panda, can I just say whilst I'm curling my lashes because I'm focusing so fucking hard, how much I missed you? I missed you so fucking hard, girl. How are you? I was lurking on the stream. Ew, ew. I was lurking on the stream. Did you enjoy it? Why are you sorry? What the fuck are you apologizing for? What are you apologizing for? Girl, it goes two ways, girl. We've both been busy. Life happens. You know what I mean? You're slowly crawling back to life. Look, I'm gonna tell you something. There's not a lot of people who would apologize for crawling back to life. And I'm not saying that perhaps you don't have the right to feel a guilty conscience because you know, you do have a lot of pride in what you do. I know you do. But no one else will prioritize your own mental well-being or whatever happened. I'm not too sure. The same way you will ever will. And with this I want to say that there is nothing to apologize for, my love. Because at the end of the day, what matters is you. And I'm feeling so poetic and whatnot. And I think I'm just chatting a bunch of shit. I just want to say that you don't have to apologize for that. You don't have to apologize for that. You just have to do it if you want to, or if you don't want to, you don't have to do it. Okay, I'm not enjoying this lash. I'm not enjoying the lash. I'm not gonna lie. I know I just changed subjects. I'm sorry. Listen to Frankie, wifey. I'm gonna think back. I'm not gonna think back of the lack of quality I delivered today, but I'm so happy I get to at least stream again and vibe with everyone. It wasn't lack of quality. What do you mean? Look, there's always obviously you're just getting back to it. I don't think it was lack of quality at all. I was lurking because I was working. And and I don't think anyone felt that either. It's you. We're there for you. And but if you do feel that way, you know you've done it before. If you feel that way, if you've done it before, you can do it again. Like other streamers bringing top entertainment. Do I watch the other streamers or do I watch you? That's my question. That's all I'm gonna say. That's all I'm gonna say. You know what I mean? That's all I'm gonna say. I don't think you have anything to worry about personally. And other people will tell you the exact same. You just need to enjoy it at the end of the day. Didn't you enjoy it, my love? I am so proud of you. Sometimes I don't want to be entertained. You're always entertained. Dwayne, please. You're always entertained. I fucked this up. I fucked the lash up. Oh, my lash is coming out. Oh. Who calls who a whore? Sorry, guys, just a song. My lash is coming out. I'm gonna die. But how was your day, Pandita? How have you been? What have you been up to? You're crawling back to life. You're slaying. I am so happy to see you. You have no idea. What are the preps for con going? How are those going? Let me go up. I know, but my energy and talks are so low now because my body and brain are so messed up. And for people to come hang out with me over other amazing people is just crazy to me. We all love you. That is just you. You know what? Suck it up. Enjoy the moment. Do not deprive yourself from enjoying that. People adore you. I adore you. Dwayne adores you, even though you guys are calling stinky to each other like all the fucking time. Oh, actually, that's not so bad. Sauce for the dump. You're always welcome. I've told you this before. You're always welcome. How are the preps for con going? I'm so excited you guys are gonna see each other. I'm totally not jealous. Not at all. What are you talking about? I'm truly so fucking happy. I can't wait for the pickies. What? You're gonna cry? You're not fucking gonna cry. Are you doing your makeup for Comic-Con, Dwayne? Do you like makeup? It's gonna come up so fast. I wanna do more. You wanna do more? You wanna do... When is it? When is con? When is con? Is it at the end of the month? End of the month. Yeah, friends are gonna do... Oh my god, I can't fucking wait. I can't fucking wait. Careful with the scissors, Frankie. Oh my god, that sounds so exciting. What are the plans for besides like going to con? Have you guys got... I know Kat doesn't have anything. She's like, ooh. Can I join? Join... Oh, the makeup? The makeup for Dwayne? I would love to do Dwayne's makeup as well. I would love to do everyone's makeup. Maybe one day when I'm Twitch famous and all, I just start like flying out my peeps over here. I will actually be wearing makeup. Have you got any plans? Have you got like any like any mood boards for makeup? What's everyone's budgets? I want to know. Important questions. What's everyone's budgets for? Because like those things are expensive for like buying merch and whatnot. Does TwitchCon sell merch? Read translucent powder because shiny head. It's a lie. Do you know what? You have the perfect complexion for that. You have beautiful skin. Can I like steal your skin in like the nicest way possible? Your skin is so beautiful. I wish I could just go with blush and powder. Period. I sound like a pick-me, but I'm truly like I'm honest, being honest. But their merch is ugly and pricey. Bed. Fucking bed. Surely there will be like loads of things. There will be independent artists and whatnot. Surely. Come and watch my face up close. Okay, no one's... Let me tell you, girl. No one's face, even like the most... like the richest of people. No one's... You mean blackheads? Salicylic acid, babe. Salicylic acid. That solves the trick. Like constant use of salicylic acid. Telling you right now. Telling you right now. You're welcome. Not even the richest of people have perfect skin. Because it's skin. We all have pores. Blackheads come and go. Salicylic acid helps, but, you know, good skin comes and goes. God knows. Your forehead gets shiny so fast. Maybe you need some mattifying products other than powder. I don't know how to do skincare or makeup in a second I do our breakout. You may have a very sensitive... people from northern countries have a lot of tendency for conditions as like eczema or very extremely sensitive skin. I think you would enjoy the makeup from Bare Minimals. Minimals? Yeah, they have like a foundation powder and all. The second I put moisturizer on, the next week I'm gonna have... Please tell me that you at least put sunscreen on. Gotta wear... I mean, to be honest, you can download an app called UV Lens that tells you how high the UV rays are in a specific day. And if it's above like 2 or 3, then you need to. But given where you are from, where you live, maybe not. Because same. I don't have to apply sunscreen every day. Give me a second. Search BOS sunscreen. Beauty of Josie or something like that. I just got it. Search that one up. It's a it's not a fully on... You would do so well with Korean skincare. I'm telling you right now. You would love Korean skincare. I do sunscreen on face in summer. To be honest, that makes so much sense for where you live. But I would still double check like every day if you need to apply sunscreen. Because sometimes it may feel like you don't need to, but you should, especially for like our fair complexities. We should be like everyone should be applying sunscreen every day. Period. I will not argue any other way around, but especially like fair pale people. Slide. Ooh, cute, cute. But also that it's hard to not get a fake one. What? You heard about this one? Go. Yes, I'm pretty sure that the shop Yes Style sell us ships to your country, and they're a verified reseller for that brand. SPF, all else. Exactly. SPF and cleanser. You know, girl. But also for makeup. Korean makeup, you'd love it. Bare Minerals. Bare Minimal? Bare Minimal? Bare Minerals? It's mineral makeup. Mineral makeup and skincare is really good as well. For like sensitive skin. I'm not a girly for specifically mineral sunscreen. I personally don't like those formulas, but that's just me. Yes Style, yeah. Bare Minerals. Bare Minerals. Yeah, Bare Minerals. Don't worry, baby. I was just double checking because I was wrong. What was I gonna say? But for more sensitive skin, definitely things around powders sometimes work. For moisturizers, maybe go for like dermatology, like Cetaphil or CeraVe. CeraVe. Like you go to like a drugstore, like a big drugstore franchise, and you just get like the like the white bottle like that screams dermatologist moisturizer. Keep wasting money on trying skincare and then regret it. I think I have oily mixed skin, like forehead and nose just go crazy. Um, that could be. Do you experience like dryness? It could also um for mixed for mixed skin, for mixed type of skin, sometimes your skin is so dry that your skin tries to combat it with extra oil. So this is why I say sometimes you're under moisturizing or not moisturizing at all. Sometimes you feel like you have oily skin, but you don't have like 100% complete oily skin. Your skin could be so dry that it's just trying to like your skin will produce more oil than normal to try and prevent that. My cheeks always be good. I don't believe so. Yeah, I know. I just don't know how to see it all. Have you ever been to a dermatologist or an aesthetician? Oh, I love a dermatologist, but I cannot drop my aesthetician even if my life depended on it. She is a goddess on my skin. To be honest, I need to book a facial speaking of that because my god, look at this. My skin is nicest when I leave it alone. I hear a lot about that. I hear a lot. I hear a lot of people saying that. I can't comment. All I'm saying is, please, for the love of God, please apply sunscreen. I don't care what you do else. She made you feel bad? Do I have to fight her? Sorry, just water. Do I have to fight her? Why did she do that? Do you want to talk about it? You can always leave a complaint. Never shut. No, I need to reduce the light. It's getting a little bit bad on my head. Ta-da. I can even see the makeup a little bit better like this. Remind me later. It's years ago, I don't know. There's always times for trying new things. I don't think you should ever let yourself shy away from trying to learn more about your skin because of one person. And this goes for anything, really. Where the fuck is my foundation brush? Oh my god, my foundation is gonna dry. Where is it? Fuck. Oh, I can't find my foundation brush and I don't like applying with my fingers. Only complaint I have on my face is ever since I was 14, I got little wrinkles in my forehead, which disappears some days and other days when I am tired, they're ingrained. That's dehydration. Literally. That is dehydration. Sometimes I think my wrinkles, especially underneath my eyes, are like getting more evident, and then I just put moisturizer on and I'm like, oh. Oh. Alright. Okay, we're doing this. If you see them more visible a few days and not so much the others, that's just dehydration. Ow, my nose. I'm itchy. I'm sorry, guys. Do you want to do makeup, especially on foundation and stuff? I get so freaked out about it. When I skincare, I suddenly want to hide stuff, and I'm like, I don't want to do makeup to hide. I get that feeling, but I think I am. I don't know if my opinion matters in this, but if it helps, I'm definitely a girly of skincare first, makeup after. And the more you're consistent with skincare, you may feel like it breaks you out. That may also be purging, by the way. Um, the more you are consistent with your skincare, the more you will feel. I also, besides like your skin probably improving, because that's what happens with skincare when you're regular with it. Think you will hydrate. You will. How do I explain this? The more you customize yourself with taking care of your skin by applying skincare regularly and just generally taking care of yourself. It's kind of like you almost build a relationship with your skin. You build that habit of taking care of it. So sometimes if you feel the need of ever hiding some stuff, it's what I found the most with my clients back when I did makeup was getting into the habit of doing skincare and taking care of their skin. There's that kind of sense of familiarity, and you just grow to accustomed to what others perceive as flaws. It's just skin at the end of the day. It's not flaws, but like the characteristics of your skin. You just grow accustomed to it the more you do it. I have a nasty look at this. I've had a nasty pimple here. Um I don't like the argument of, and this sounds rude. I think the argument of your skin depending on it is not applicable. I see skincare as healthcare personally. I think that's how everyone should look at it. Especially in the climate that we live in. I was just talking earlier how our ancestors literally had an ozone layer. Maybe that is why they didn't need to feel the need to wear sunscreen. Maybe because they had like a full ozone layer. I see skincare as a healthcare. I don't think we should see it as a way of your skin depending on it, because skin conditions fluctuate a lot. To not make it more ugly, but that's just your skin improving. But like, obviously, with everything, you can't keep up the results if you don't do it. If you don't moisturize your skin, it's not about being dependent, but if you don't, it's more of looking at everyone's skin deserves to be moisturized. There are, like, for example, even before skincare was fully a thing, hydration goes like centuries old. There are natural treatments to do that. Maybe we just haven't found the right products for you that make you feel comfortable. But I think you'd like at least for makeup and then skincare, I think you'd like Korean makeup. Korean skincare. Korean skincare is the shit. It's just the trying. That is the thing. And also you don't need to try out with the most complex skincare routine, right? You don't need to do that, and you shouldn't, because it takes a lot for the skin to get accustomed to a product at a time. So ideally, you want to consistently start with cleanser and sunscreen, right? Sunscreen during the day and cleanse your, if you feel the need to cleanse it in the morning, and use the sunscreen, right? That's the most basic. And then you cleanse again at night, because you gotta cleanse that sunscreen, right? When I have to be in a city, apply to old skincare or masks, because I know countryside versus city. Yeah, especially there is a sidekick to specifically chemical sunscreen, is that it's not just the sun that it also serves as a barrier from pollution. I'm sure you can find better arguments than what I'm saying online, but sunscreen is also really important for to serve as a barrier against pollution. So definitely that. And then maybe after that it works, I'll consider moisturizer or serums. Yeah, because ideally you can't, don't ever try like a product more than once. Like at a time. Like don't incorporate a new skincare product into your routine. Like one at a time is fine to incorporate. Because if you react, then you can't see which ones you're reacting to. With cleanser, really, it's a waste of money to spend a lot of money on cleansers, because you're gonna wash it off. You're gonna wash that shit off, mate. It's a waste of money. So you want the most basic cleanser like possible. This pimple here is doing my head in, I swear. I don't like highlighting in these bits, but gotta be. What was I saying? But you gotta start with a cleanser and a sunscreen. That's the two I would say. Like, start with that. And so when I go away from home, I do more. And you know what that is? A big fucking sleigh. But yeah, I think every you go to the doctor, like when you take painkillers, do you have that mentality of, like, especially if you have like, no, maybe this is not the best example, because it's different to skincare, because skincare is more of a but when you need to take care of, like, you have a condition, you don't think of it as you're going to depend on it. But obviously with skincare, it's about being constant. I don't think I'm selling the idea very well. I'm also very tired and hungry. But sunscreen and cleanser, because you're such a good panda. Especially at Comic Con. Because even though you're going to be inside, you're going to see, oh my god, it looks so white. We also look at this situation. We don't talk about, I'm not doing anything to it. We don't talk about that situation. It's traumatizing. It's so traumatizing. Oh, I need to apply the glitter again. I don't even remember how the rest of the looked like. It's very blushy. She has glitter all over her face, and I have work tomorrow, so that's not gonna fly. I think it looks cute. Am I reaching? I think it looks cute. Ah! Why are you screaming? Literally, why are you screaming? I'm just so excited to see the end. Actually, I told you guys, glitter makes everything like 10 times better. 10 times better. This pimple right here. This is my number one enemy. This is my number one enemy. Are we vibing with this? I think we are. I still have the skills. I still have the skills, y'all. For living or growing. You just keep looking at the horns. The horns? Hi, horns. Ow, 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 ow. Horns. I'm a BG3 character. Have you ever finished BG3, Panda? Did you ever get around to do it? Because I got to Act 3. My game corrupted. See? Boom! 90s volume, 80s volume, everyone's volume. Oh my god, my hair just... Look at that. What a sleigh. Not a lot since winter. I fell off from it as well. Never finished the game, and I'm really sad. Kat and I started playing it on stream, but like with schedules, it's so hard for the both of us. Too sick to sit for long behind PC. You gotta work those legs. That's so true. You're still planning to. It is a really long game as well. I think it's one of those, like Zelda was for a lot of people that just played along the years, and then they got to the end. I don't know how. Oh my god, the sunset is like reflecting on my kitchen. It's so pretty. Did you ever get out of Act 1? Zelda on Switch is really easy to pick up. That is true. Ow, sorry, my crystals. Also, I feel like I'm being such a bum in terms of conversation. You're worried about being like that. I think I'm a bum. There you go. You're not a bum, Pandita. I'm a bum. Bitchy threes. Honestly, I even tried picking it up on the Steam Deck, but it just runs so. Maybe because I have the wrong specs. You're enjoying it. I love you. Thank you. Maybe because I have the wrong specs on my Steam Deck, but I just also because I don't feel like BG3 is really a console um or like handheld kind of game. Where's my glitter? Where is my glitter? I saw it on Steam Deck at Jess and it's so different. It is really weird. It just doesn't feel like the same fucking game. Where is I found my glitter? Where's Stardew on Steam Deck is PC version? Yeah. Oh my god, I remember one Christmas. I got really addicted to Stardew. And mind you, I'm not a Stardew fan. I got just alone on Christmas. I think Christmas 2022, I believe. Went back home, brought my Steam Deck for the first time. I stayed in Portugal for 2 weeks. Tell me why I put, you know, you go to home, you're busy, seeing your friends and whatnot. 50 hours on Stardew Valley alone. Like the 50 hours I had on Stardew before I started picking it up recently. And I can't stream it because the creator is questionable at the moment without saying anything more because I don't want to be blacklisted from the community. I just disagree a lot of things. What was I saying? Before, like, the recent few hours I put in, because I've been enjoying Stardew a little bit more ever since picking up Coral Island, getting into the groove. The 50 hours alone that I had, it was because I put those 50 hours when I was at home in 2022. 2022. You have more mods. I installed your mod on mine. On my game. I installed your mod. Your icon mod. I installed it. I installed it. I can proudly say that I've installed your... I haven't tried it because I haven't gotten, like, to the... because I installed your mod, like, after starting a save, so I don't know how it works. I need to start a new save. Didn't even read the description. I was just like, run. I ran to install it. Okay, I added a little bit of glitter on my forehead. I'm gonna break out. But that's fine. I added a little bit of a glitter on my forehead. She has glitter. Okay, fuck it. Fuck it. I'm just gonna go full of glitter to work tomorrow. I don't care. Excuse me. Pardon me. It replaces the shepherd dog. Wait. Wait, the shepherd dog that on the... I have a dog. Again, I am a Stardew noob. I modded the fuck out of my Stardew game because I just don't like unmodded Stardew, right? So I also installed the Stardew Unlimited. It's like that huge mod that like adds a lot of storylines. I don't know how it's called. And I have a dog in the middle of town. Is that Ica? Because it does look like Ica. I don't know. Would that be, or do you mean the shepherd dog? Like you can get your own? I don't know. I'm confused. Again, I am a full search. I only installed it. I didn't read anything. Don't want a spoiler. I don't care about spoilers. It's fun. No, your farm dog. Mm. Then I need to start a new save because I chose a cat. Because I had when I saw my new save that I'm currently working on, I hadn't had your mode yet at that point. Can I change the? But I don't have the cat eater yet. I don't think so. You can choose a farm. Okay, so that is the one. Got it. Right. If guys, Stardew stream when the creator decides to actually make up for everything that he's failed to speak on. And that's my stance on it. If he gets me blacklisted, I have a full-time job. Hopefully I don't jinx it and get fired or whatnot. So I'm personally gonna be fine if I don't get to be like a full-on Twitch content creator and I get blacklisted from everything. So I'm just like, Stardew Valley with like Panda mods. And I'm sure you played it really, you've worked hard on it. Mods take a lot of time, no matter how small they are. The pack comes first Sunny, Wednesday or Friday, I believe. Okay, then I think I need to log in, because maybe I've already gotten it. On the current save, I could just start a new one. You know, when some people decide to address stuff they should have addressed. Because I am not streaming that game until then. I mean, playing it, I've already paid for the game, do you know what I mean? I think it's different. I'm breaking out of my nose, but that's like really old. My skin looks good today. I added some glitter on this, but you can't really see. I don't think so. And on my forehead, I'm glittering. Look, oh, you actually can see the glitter. You can actually see the glitter. That is a big slay. And there's a new update with 1% with cool change to pets, but I don't know if you want to know. You can tell me. I know pretty much the entire story of Stardew. I think I'd be more upset if I was spoiled on Coral Island, because I've been spoiled on Coral Island. And I was a little bit upset. And you know what? It was my own fault, because you're never gonna believe this. I got spoiled on Coral Island by reading Coral Island fanfiction. Yep. That's right, fellas. My own fucking fault. My own fucking fault. What blush am I gonna wear? What blush am I gonna use? Okay, I've got the Fenty Beauty one. Fuck that brand. Ooh! Fuck it, this one is cute. Blend that out, blend that out, blend that out, blend that out, blend that out. Ah! Okay, it's fine, because it's for stream. So we can actually, like, go overboard with it. We can actually go overboard on the cheeks with it, you know what I mean? It's fine, it's fine. In real life, it looks crazy. There's a new update. Okay, so 1.6 introduces getting more than one. So later in the game, you can adopt more and should have the egg version as an option. Because all the first, I haven't played that far myself because I've barely played since 1.6. Because first, all the mods broke that make me enjoy the game, and then they did. Wait, did the mod creators stop doing things? Is that what you mean? Oh my god, this is a beautiful blush. Even for day to day, it's so sparkly. Oh, and to think I got this thing for free when I ordered some like random Fenty Beauty. Oh my god, I have the most random Fenty Beauty history story about this. I ordered some Fenty Beauty products back in 2020 in the middle of lockdown when I was doing my makeup YouTube shit. And they charged me twice, like a couple days after. They charged me twice. I tried raising a dispute with Monzo, and then it was just a back and forth between me and Fenty Beauty. I raised a dispute with Monzo, which then I had to cancel because Fenty refunded me, right? And mind you, I ordered like $150 worth of products from Fenty Beauty. Oh, I'm getting in trouble now by saying this, but it's not my fault. It's been like 4 years now. You do you, boo. Fenty Beauty, if you see this, you didn't see this. And I raised a dispute with Monzo, canceled that dispute. I don't know what happened. I get refunded. Canceled the dispute because I got refunded. Tell me why weeks later, like a month later, I get refunded again. So basically, I got free products. Literally, because they refunded me from charging me twice, and they refunded me again. All the mods broke that I used from others because of the big ass changes. So they didn't stop doing mods on purpose. They just like, because of everything that went down, they just delayed doing stuff because bring sexy back. Did that go off? Did the Twitch alerts go off? Could you guys hear that? Robin! Could you guys hear that? Robin, thank you for the 5 months. It went off. Oh, hi, baby. You need someone to make me an adult. You know where I am tomorrow. Will you join me? How are you? How was your day? I miss you so fucking much. Did I see you during this weekend? No, I didn't. I was busy at the gym. I'm so sorry. You went off. Thank you. Paperwork delay. Bad! Because I literally got 150 pounds of product for free. That is a lot of money, and I don't intend on paying it back. I don't really use Fenty Beauty products. I just don't really like their formulas either way. Overrated, in my opinion. All right, Robin, I missed you so fucking much, and I appreciate you so much for the 5 months. I've been an affiliate that long? I've been an affiliate that long? What? You've been with me for that long? At least here on Twitch? Because I've known you for longer. I'm pretty? No, you're pretty. Look at this shit. Let's apply blush here on the nose, because why not? I was feeling gloomy, and I didn't feel like, playing a game. And I'm not gonna have time for games, because I have 10 more minutes before bedtime. Or dinner time in this case. I need more blush. I need more blush. When 1.6 dropped, everything broke. And after 3 weeks, my favorite mods were still not updated because there are a lot of work to figure out with the new game code. And I stopped checking it. And when I wanted to play again and saw the mod, oh my god, did you guys? And when I stopped trying, when I wanted to, it's a Portuguese in me. So the mods are all functioning. The bad shit happened. Yep. Yeah. I just don't like. I get it. He's an indie like. I think it's exactly because he's an indie creator that bugs me the wrong way. Because with corporate, it's a lot hard. I work in corporate, so I'm not excusing it. But I know the process of coming out with statements similar to this is a lot harder when you have a lot of people to go through. And it's also a lot harder because you have investors to please. I'm not sure if he has investors to please, which is why he's not saying shit. I think that given the gravity of the situation, he should say something. No, you are pretty. You cuss me up every fucking time. I do not deserve you. I do not deserve you at all. And he didn't anticipate the popularity, but it's just not. It's not even about that. Like the game's been out for. He definitely didn't, but also the game's been out for 10 years. He's had time to prepare. I think. Like, people have stopped enjoying the game. People, like, even more than that. That's literally besides the point. I don't care about people enjoying or not enjoying the game. In a context of, people have been doxxed. I am just opening my mouth here, and I'm gonna get blacklisted, but I don't care. I have a full-time job. Hopefully I don't get fired. Hopefully I don't have the need. I do this because I love it. And I think we should just all be nice people as much as possible. Because Twitter opinions and all, do you know what I mean? But I want to play the game, but no. No. Someone should apologize. I think. Am I being stingy? I'm sorry if I'm being like really fucking toxic. In a context of I'm ruining the fucking mood and just being overly critical when no one asked for it. I don't know. Maybe I'll end up on Reddit. Who knows? I don't think it's unpopular. It's just it is what it is. showing he actually knows and does this, and that doesn't excuse, like, people get harassed and there are safety concerns. That's just how crazy to sit. Yeah, like, we're not asking you to go after them. There's not a lot you can do. We're just, or maybe he feels like there's not a lot he can do, right? Let's look at it. Let's look at both, I guess. I don't know. I'm playing Havels. Havels. Not playing Angel's Advocate. I guess I don't know which one is the side, but maybe he just doesn't feel like he can add anything to the situation in a positive way. Maybe he thinks, not excusing, I'm like thinking on both sides of the situation. Maybe he thinks that he'll just he'll just drag more attention to it by speaking out on it. And maybe, I don't know. One little tweet could change it all. I don't think it could change it all, but it could definitely help. Like, people want to play your game. People just want to play your game in peace. And people actually want to, it's just a shocking thing of people actually want to advertise the game. It's also the thing, his game is big enough that he doesn't probably have to care. He probably doesn't even have to care about it. Do you know what I mean? People still play it, people still stream it. A lot of people have made their main source of income in streaming from, in like popularity from his game. Maybe he's big, it's the thing, his game is big enough that probably he doesn't have to care. Which in truthness, it shouldn't be like that. I don't know. People just, even then, maybe his game is big enough, but there are people that want to play his game and won't. Not that that's like, there's more, as I said, there are more serious stuff to be concerned with. Like, people have been doxxed and harassed. I think that's more serious than me wanting to play his little 2D game. Not making, not belittling it. It's just in the context of it. It's just a comment. Um, People want to advertise the game and like, just say something. And maybe it would change something, maybe it won't. But again, it's not like he's a massive corporate that he has these loads of investors. I don't know, I'm probably just spouting shit at this. It's not like he is this massive corporate with loads of contracts and agreements with investors that he has to please. It's not like he is that, as far as I'm aware. Especially after this long, it's been a bit disheartening. Not because I rely on celebs to forward movement and shit, but Stardew is like a safe space for so many people, so to leave people out to dry like that is sad. Especially for what the marketing for the game is. It's comfortability, it's coziness, it's free, it's just you being able to express yourself in a safe space and build a community from that. I don't really know a lot about lore, Stardew lore in terms of community, because also I'm very new to the Twitch community in a whole. Am I reaching in assuming this? I don't think it's against the LGBTQ per se. But yeah, man up. There's nothing wrong with it. In terms of just owning up to certain people in your community have said and done stuff to that they shouldn't have. And okay, let's say I create a makeup brand. I don't know. I create some sort of brand, right? I create some, let's personalize this situation. I create a makeup brand, right? And with a lot of branding comes a lot of movement and empathizing. That's why a lot of brands have charities, because they want to cater to a specific movement or a specific cause that then drives them back and forth between their own brand, where they get a capital, and their charity. Let's say I create that sort of branding, right? And then I have this movement, this kind of message that I want to forward with my brand. And there are people within that use that brand, that use within that community, that misuse it and target other people within my community that I've worked a lot of to reinforce a message and to gain capital from, because at the end of the day that's what it is, it's to gain money from people. um I've made a lot of work to make that happen, and some misky people do active harm against others with my name, by using, like, my name is in the middle of it. What? No. No, thank you. That's me. This game is number one in cozy game. It's what people base their games off. Refer to, exactly. It's such. Maybe he doesn't feel like it adds anything. I personally think it would. I personally don't think it would change what had happened, because ultimately it's been done. He can't do anything. I'm not too sure how the whole thing could be rectified. Um, but just say something. Just remove your name from it. Am I reaching? I don't know. I'm gonna get blacklisted from so many things. I'm like, okay, cool. All right, do it. You're getting grrr. Go get the uncle. Go get the uncle. Oh no, man. BRB. People too often cradle consumers that spread hate. I mean, anyone would hate is cradle in general, but especially in a business world. I'm too dumb to further that comment. I think your comment is perfect, Wade. I think your comment is absolutely spot on. IK is perfect anger man. She's the cutest little big baby bean. Excuse me. I need to finish the lips. I had bronzer. I added a little bit of bronzer. What am I talking about? Yeah. She is the perfect anger man. I love her. I want to meet her. I want to squish her so much. I love her so much. Now I'm just hoping that the Stardew Valley fans don't come here and start doxing me, because Jesus Christ. Girl, I'm on your side here. Kind of. I don't know, depending on which side you're on. Just don't dox me, please. I'm literally just a baby. She overlined the lips quite a lot. Going back to the makeup, YOLO. Going back to the makeup, what we're here for. Oh my god, it's a perfect clippy. But she has it like Cupid's bow. Oh, the huggies, you babies. I don't like the Cupid's bow bit on my lips. I'm looking stunning. Am I know. I know. I actually like how the eyes turned out. I really like how the eyes turned out. You better, you better. No, you better. Like betting. Did you just call me a whore without calling me a whore? Why? Because it's true. Because I am a whore without being the whore. Because why? Demisexuality. YOLO! YOLO! Okay, I'm overlining my lips. You better. Gosh Christ, guys, I need to wash to shave my face. Women have facial hair. You should have seen me before my laser. Jesus Christ, was it bad? I don't like Cupid's bow. God, that's so bad. Hey, you're speaking my language. What do you mean, just your language? We're part of the same closet. I don't know. Like, we fit in the same closet, babes. I think. I don't know. Though, would you say I'm more of a horror slut? You do have a lot of fictional character crushes. Do you know what I mean? Uh... I don't know how to comment that. I think that is a lot of pressure you're putting on me. And like, have you seen the titties I have to carry? That's already a lot of pressure. Oranges, green look. Oh my god, you have no idea how that how much that means coming from you, because you are the most stunning woman I've ever seen in my fucking life. Period. And I haven't even seen you. That means so much. Thank you for it. I actually, like, it was so bad at the beginning, girl. I was so bad at the beginning. And then yeah. It's true. It's fucking true. You'll ask wifey? Too many. How many? You'll ask wifey, which one? Dulce the Jill. What does that even mean? Twerkies, what does that even mean? How are we doing? Oh my god, oranges and twerkies in chat. My god. Bands. Twerksies. Band. How are you? I don't know what Dulce de Milkies means. I'm scared to ask. Do we keep the Cupid's bow? I need a gloss. Is that your name? But if you are wearing all denim. Denim on denim on denim on denim. Jose Jilki. What do you mean that is my name if I was wearing... What are you talking to? You're Valoranting? Are you Valoranting with Jetta? Jorts and Jilks. Turkeys, I'm Portuguese, man. Give me some flack here. Translated for like 3 languages going on here at the same time. What is Jorts? Jorts? Jilks. What does that mean? Oh my god, twerkies? Oh my god, you missed it. We may, if you're still here, we may or may have not found earlier. You'll never guess fan fiction of what. You'll never guess what kind of fan fiction we found, but we found Rishi Sunak fan fiction, Boris Johnson fan fiction. Oh. You know what the little we found Rishi Sunak fan fiction of like YN POV, right? Like you, like the reader is like, it was so bad. It was, and we found a fanfic, where Boris and Rishi get to the nitty gritty. And I was looking at you, thinking of you two being like, this would have flown in Turkey's chat. It would have been absolutely fucking iconic. Because tell me, you can't make me hate stunt culture. You just can't. I'm sorry. Because we get Rishi Sunak fanfiction. So fucking bad. It was iconic. Who in their right minds writes Rishi Sunak fanfiction? Please tell me. Because I don't know. Hopefully, guys, the games are going well for you in Valorant. I miss that game. I miss that game so much. But I want Pearl back. Oh, I miss this gloss. Yep. Biggie Slay, if I made this to so myself. What did I just say? Is that a Slay? Do we get a clip of the last reveal? Is that a Slay? Oh no, I need more highlighter. Because it's never enough. It's never enough. Oh, I need to go into the office tomorrow, and I'm just like, I don't wanna go. I'm like, I don't wanna take this off. I don't wanna take it off. I shake it off. I shake it off. Where did my highlighter brush go? Literally tell me when and I'll clip. I fucking love you so fucking much. Well, hopefully this doesn't go green, because there's a little bit of green eyeshadow on this. How the fuck am I going to take the glitter off of my forehead? Back from Micah, and we were supposed to sleep an hour and go in time isn't real. But wait, what? Back from Micah, but we were supposed to sleep an hour and go in time isn't real. Are you gonna go sleep then? I appreciate you so much for being here. I just want to say, don't. This is a lot coming from me. You're getting ready for sleeps, and I appreciate you so much for the lurk and for coming over here. Um, just someone who puts a lot of stuff on. Oh my god, everything's shaking. Puts a lot of stuff on her back for no reason. Don't worry, you are just fine. You are amazing. You are fucking amazing, and we love you for who you are. And we'll tune in. And I appreciate it so much for being here and supporting me. Like since day one. Like I wouldn't have like literally you're the culmination of everything that I have right now. Literally. I wouldn't have a friends and you without like you. Yeah, and I hope you have a lovely EP night. You sleep well. And apply sunscreen tomorrow. You better apply sunscreen tomorrow. I just said hi. Oh, Spotify stopped. Spotify just stopped. Spotify just stopped. Okay. Would you guys change anything in this Luke? Wait. You are so cool that the rest haven't. Please, I was already crying in the middle of Rishi Rishi Sunak fan fiction. I don't want to cry again for like really like emotional reasons. Uh, I really don't. I'm gonna. All right. So, thank you for coming to my TED Talk. Jingle Bell Bell is coming. Jingle Bell Bell. Oh my god, I need to go sort these roots. Because what the fuck? What is this? What is this? Okay. Is this do we have a sleigh in the house tonight? Oh my god, Pancho, I need you to take a fucking break. 30 times only. Okay, is this a sleigh in the house tonight? Do we have a sleigh in the house tonight? With this Luke. Luke. Oh, it actually turned out really well. It actually turned out really well. We do have a sleigh in the house tonight. We do have a sleigh in the house tonight. Oh, I forgot to. I keep forgetting to turn the little lights on. Wait. A sleigh? The song has been stuck in your head. Haven't listened to it in years. We have a sleigh in the house tonight. We do. My hair is not slaying, and I hope it stays like as good until tomorrow because I need to go into the office tomorrow. I'm just like, ugh. Okay, final look. Wayne, get ready to clip when you get ready to clip. Let me bring this here. Hi. Hi. So, we recreated the look tonight, and I think it went really well. Loads of blush. I don't know. Oh, I didn't finish it. I didn't finish the eyes. It's okay. I don't have time for this. I need to go to bed. I don't have time for this. Maybe next, like, maybe I'll finish it for the pickies. Okay, my hair is not hairing. But yeah. I hope you guys liked it. I just needed some makeup therapy today. You love it? Thank you so much for being here throughout the entire stream. I can't fucking believe you. I have a dirty desk to deal with by tomorrow. I mean, I'm gonna work from home, so it's whatever. I needed some makeup therapy tonight, and I'm glad I did, because now I'm going to take some pickies of it, and I'm going to post it all over social media, because I deserve it. No ads starting in 5 minutes. No ads in a house tonight. Okay, I'm just babbling at this point. I'm just literally just like chatting shit at this point, but let me double check something. Um, um, guys, please keep up with me. There's no one that I know. Oh, there is someone that I know on. Um, there is indeed. Should we raid dreamers? Should we raid dreamies? Let's raid dreamies. Let's raid dreamies. Let's raid dreamies. Guys, please keep up with me. I'll be back on Friday. So okay, so announcement. I have a new schedule with like everything going on in my life, blah blah blah. I've set a schedule. Thank you for the socials link. But yeah, follow me on socials if you haven't. I'm gonna post, if I remember, if I take good pictures. I'm gonna post the full on HD pickies on my Twitter, probably as always, and my Instagram. Um, I've set a schedule. Stream will now be as much as possible because I do have work. Stream will now be every Monday from 6:30. If I go into the office, give me some time to come back home. Do you know what I mean? And Fridays at 7. And I need to finish Bewitching Sinners. I promise. I'll think of playing that game on Friday. I'll think of. Thank you, Gremlin. I can't believe it. That means a lot. Thank you so much. Ah, thank you. Panita, thank you. And he never randomly points out someone's makeup. Dulce rate Milky's delivery. Period. That means a lot coming from you guys and Gremlin as well. Give a big kissy to Gremlin. Milky's delivery. Hey yo. Okay, so we're going to rate someone that is very important to me. I love them so much. How do I rate? You'll smooch him for you. Mwah! You do the sub one because I ain't subbed right now. That's okay, baby. Wait. This one? This one? I was about to paste Twerky's emotes because he's like right second because I'm always on his stream. He's right there. I was about to paste some of his emotes. So the paid one, the sub one is there, and then Dwayne kindly posted the free heart one. How dare you not mind my command with this? It's fine. It's my fault. It's my fault. Robin! Robin! Oh my god, I love you so much. Thank you so much for gifting that one to the lady. You cannot have a sock. Robin, oh my god, I fucking love you so much. I can't. You guys spoil me. You literally do. And there's never any expectations, but you guys make me like you guys spoil me. And you just guys like if I'm ever in doubt on like a specific, you guys just keep me like I may like be off for a few days, but you guys just make me keep coming back. Like despite this, like despite the suds and all, you guys just keep making me come back. Oh my god. Okay, copy and pasta. I appreciate it, Robin, so much. I appreciate every single one of it. We're gonna go raid our lovely. How do I start a raid? Right, I'm back on Friday. Kim, hi, baby. You joined just the right time. You're gonna go meet our friend. How are you? I'll stay on a little bit just to. I hope you're okay. Do you like my look? Do you like your wife's look? Dwayne, he's not scary. Don't worry. He's just. You wanted to talk to me? You can call me after this. I meant it that time I made the joke, but I meant it. You can just call me on Discord after this. You wanted to talk to me? Oh, you're drunk. Even better. What are you okay? But are you like safe right now? Are you like safe? I'm sorry, he scared me. You know when he scares me? When I go in chat and he's just like, "What are you doing here?" And I'm like, "I'm just trying to be nice to you, man." Ah, your wife? I'm just trying to be nice to you. That's when he scares me. Scheme also scares me on Fortnite. I played Fortnite with Scheme. We don't talk about like it was bad. I'm very bad at Fortnite. Well, what are you doing here? I need to go eat. Scheme, call me if you want to on Discord. If you don't want to, I'll see you later. We don't talk about that. But you. I know it was bad. I'm gonna go eat. I'll see you guys again on Friday, and I'm gonna start rate for Dreamies. Please stay along if you want to for the points or not. How do I search Dreamies? Dreamers, not Dreamies. If you want to tag along, please tag along and just copy pasta the. You're gorgeous. Just copy pasta the thingy. I'm gonna go see you back on Friday. Take care. Stay slay. Do the gang. What am I doing? I'm subbed. Thanks to Robin. Don't you worry, Milky. We're gonna go. We're gonna start raid. I love you guys so much. 7-6. I'm gonna go. Mwah.